Okay, team. So, as mentioned yesterday, we'll go over this week project progress. A reminder, all report were due yesterday.
Oh my god, I'm already late.
Actually, I still waiting for Kevin to join.
Oh no, I'm so late. They must be started already. Oh my god, why you're so slow, Kopita? Gosh, why am I making a be open? I'll just join without opening my camera room.
Hi, Kevin. You're late again. The meeting started 15 minutes ago.
I'm so sorry. I had some internet issues and I didn't really sleep well last night.
Kevin, this is the third time this week, and you missed your project deadline yesterday.
Yes, I have been going through some personal stuff. I can chat soon.
You mentioned that before. I think it's time we involve HR to look into this.
In remote work settings, issues like this can be hard to detect, but they can seriously impact team performance. So, how should HR respond?
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, I am Afza and I'll start off our presentation by explaining the issue we've just shown in the opening skit and the possible reason behind it. As you saw, Kevin has been showing several signs of poor performance. The first is he often late to team meetings, misses deadlines and doesn't respond to email in the timely manner. From an HR perspective, these are serious red flags, especially in a remote work setting where it's harder to observe behavior directly. So, it is important to assess this situation carefully and try to understand what could be causing it. There are a few possible underlying causes. First, Kevin mentioned having personal issues, but he didn't give any specific details. While employees have a right to privacy, lack of transparency make it difficult for HR or managers to offer help or set realistic expectations. Second, this might be a case of poor time management. Some employees struggle to organize their day when working from home, especially without clear boundaries between personal and professional life. Another possible reason is low motivation or burnout. His lack of engagement, excuses, and delays could be signs that he's overwhelmed, mentally tired, or just disengaged from his work. We also can ignore remote work challenges. Things like internet problems, noises, or family distraction can reduce productivity and increase stress, especially if the employee doesn't have a proper work setup at home. And the last, the lack of managerial support could be part of the problem. If expectations are clearly communicated or if the manager has been checking in regularly, Kevin may feel disconnected and unsupported. Before we take action, HR needs to first understand what's really going on, whether it's a personal problem, a lack of structure, or even an issue within the organization itself. In the next part, my groupmate will explain how HR can investigate the issue further than gather the right information to respond appropriately.
Good day everyone. Today I will be presenting the plan for investigating the matter involving Kevin and gathering more information to address the situation effectively and friendly. Step 1 is to review up-to-date documentation and policies. Before taking any action, it is important to read the company's employee handbook, the disciplinary procedures, and any remote working regulations. This helps us ensure that our actions are based on the company's rules and are consistent with current policies. Step 2 involves having an initial discussion with the manager. This discussion will help us understand the specific instance of Kevin's misconduct. The goal here is not to jump to conclusion, but to gather the facts and perspective from someone who has observed Kevin's behavior directly. Step 3 is to invite Kevin to a personal HR meeting. The meeting should be handled professionally and respectfully. We will make it clear that the purpose is not to punish, but to understand what he's going through. We want to create a safe space for him to speak openly and honestly, and also offer support where needed. Step 4 is to review any possible accommodations or support that Kevin might need. We must consider whether his behavior could be influenced by short-term personal issues, a medical condition, or other challenges. This will help us determine if he needs temporary support or adjustments to help him perform better. Step 5 is to document everything. Throughout the process, we must take accurate notes and keep records of all conversations and decisions made. This ensures transparency, fairness, and also protect both Kevin and the company legally and ethically. Finally, step 6 is to identify and take appropriate action. Once we have gathered enough information, we'll make a balanced decision that considers both Kevin's situation and the interests of the organization. The aim is not just discipline, but also resolution and improvement.
My name is Nur Aida Najwa Tizabri. Next, I will be explaining 5 practical conflict management and negotiation strategies that can be applied when handling cases like Kevin's remote work misconduct. Let's begin with the first strategy, a performance improvement plan or PIP. This involves developing a formal plan for Kevin that outlines clear goals, timelines, and expectations, including attendance at meetings, consistent communication, and meeting deadlines. A structured PIP allows both HR and his manager to track progress and hold him accountable. The second strategy is to offer temporary flexible work arrangements. Since Kevin may be dealing with personal issues, a short-term solution like flexible working hours, reduced workload, or adjusted meeting times can really help. This shows support while still maintaining productivity and trust. Next, we have the third strategy, a mediation session between Kevin and his manager. This is where HR steps in to lead a private and natural conversation. The goal is to create an open space for both parties to express concerns, clarify misunderstandings, and reset expectations. This can help rebuild their professional relationship and prevent further conflict. The fourth strategy is to conduct an active listening and support interview with Kevin. This means HR sits down with him for a one-on-one conversation, asking open-ended questions to understand deeper causes such as stress, burnout, or disengagement. By listening closely, HR can determine whether additional support or adjustments are necessary. Finally, the last strategy is to issue a formal reminder of the remote work policy and expectations. This should be done respectfully and in writing. It reinforces the company's standard on attendance, communication, and deliverables and ensures that expectations are applied fairly and professionally. These 5 strategies, from creating a plan to offering flexibility, mediating fairly, listening supportively, and reinforcing expectations, work together to manage conflict effectively while supporting both employees and organizational needs.
In this slide, I will present about 5 key HR actions to handle remote work issue fairly and effectively, especially when dealing with cases like Kevin, who is struggle with performance and communication. The first key is talk privately and with respect. The first step is to have a respectful, private conversation with both of the employee and their manager. For example, HR should sit down with Kevin and ask open-ended questions like, is there something affecting your ability to meet deadlines? This will trust and encourage honesty while ensuring the manager concerns are also heard. Second key is be fair and consistent. HR must treat everyone equally by applying the same policy to employees with no favoritism. For example, if another remote employee previously received a written warning for missing meeting, then Kevin should be treated the same way. consistency, avoid bias, and maintain a fair work environment. The third key is monitor and document progress. After addressing the issue, HR should record the step taken and set a clear improvement plan. For example, Kevin could be placed on a 30-day performance plan that include weekly check-ins to monitor punctuality, communication, and deadline tracking. The next key is set clear expectation. Employees should know exactly what is expected in terms of remote work, like when to log in, how quickly to reply, and deadlines. Example, HR can state all employees must join meeting on time, reply to email within 24 hours, and complete tasks by the set due date. And the last key is utilize objective data. HR should use measurable data like task submission, attendance log, and email response time to assess the situation. For example, if Kevin missed 3 out of 5 team meetings and submitted 2 projects late, HR can present this fact in the discussion. At the end of the day,
Removal is not an excuse for misconduct.
Whether you are working from home or in the office,
Accountability still matters.
And that's where HR play its role,
to guide, to support, and to act when needed.
because in every organization,
No matter where we work,
One thing must always be remembered:
misconduct
cannot be
nor
even when
working remotely.
Represent, gang, gang.